With the Alliance of American Football being a brand new league, information on your favorite players and teams may be kind of hard to come by. You're not going to find big articles like you would on Bleacher Report or say Barstool Sports, on the Memphis Express or Atlanta Legends until possibly further into the season. To help you out this season, I compiled a list of several resources that will help you keep up with all the dealings with the AAF. That way, when you're arguing with your buddies over who's better on the Memphis Express, you actually know what you're talking about. Hi, I'm Mike Floyd, and in this video, I'm going to give you several resources that I think will help you keep up with the Alliance of American Football this upcoming season. So of course, the number one source of information for the Alliance of American Football would be their own website, AAF.com. Lately, they've been updating the website pretty frequently, pretty well. The website when it first started out was pretty crappy. You had like basic information, some basic articles stating like, hey, the league is coming, sign up, for information later on. And you just sign up for like season tickets and everything. But lately they have updated it with articles, interviews with the coaches that have been pretty good. They do send out newsletters, emails when you sign up. I think it's the certain teams that you sign up for. Myself in particular, I'm following the San Antonio Commanders pretty heavily. So I get emails all the time about the Commanders and what tickets they're selling and where I could buy jerseys at from the starter and everything like that. So basic business information. They will have a mobile app coming out for the league. At the time of recording this video, it hasn't released yet, but I will make a video covering that app when it does come out. The second source of information that I found very helpful during my own research on the Alliance of American Football is the subreddit AF_football for American football. On this Reddit page, I've been able to keep up with what's going on in the preseason, like what the uniforms are looking like, who's balling out. It's a pretty thriving community. At the time of recording this video, there was almost 8,000 subscribers to the subreddit. It seems to be growing every single day. Some of the types of information that they have are from several Redditors that are actually media journalists who are there in person. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the president of the Orlando Apollos was actually in the subreddit, answering questions. So if you're looking up information on how the teams look, the AAF football subreddit is the spot to go to. Preseason games weren't televised this year, so it seems like only certain people got to go to them. But we pretty much able to know the scores, what the teams look like, and who to look out for during the season. Also, if you just want to follow each particular team, each one of the 8 individual teams has its own subreddit. So I'm following the Orlando Apollos because I like their colors, so I'm able to keep up with them and the San Antonio Commanders. The third source of information that I've personally been finding really useful on finding information on the Alliance of American Football is the different fan-made podcasts that are popping up. So far, the AAF has not stated that they have like a company-wide podcast like the NFL sometimes does, stuff like that. But there's been several fan-made ones that have popped up over the last couple months. Several that I can name off the top of my head would be for the Arizona Hot Shots, the Hot Shots Firehouse. For the Orlando Apollos, the Apollo Audible and the Apollo's Arrow. The Apollo Arrow, if I'm not mistaken, has a blog which is called The Quiver, and I'll link to in the description below. Also, I have the Instagram handles for all these podcasts that I'm talking about in the description as well. For the Atlanta Legends, you have the Crown Loyal podcast. I absolutely love their logo because I'm a huge Crown Royal fan, so it's a nice little play on words. For the San Antonio Commanders, I found 2. The first one is the SA Command Post, and the second one is the War Room podcast. I saw the War Room podcast when I was at the fan event in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, and they were actually on the field getting, video clips and actually talking to players and staff there. So they have a lot of good information. So they also have a website, which I'll link to in the description. For the San Diego Fleet, you have the Shipyard podcast and the Fleet Speak podcast. For the Salt Lake Stallions, you have the Wild Stallions podcast. It's a weird spelling, but I have it spelled out, like I said, in the description below. For just all around AAF podcasts, you have the Alliance of Football podcast, the AAF podcast, and around the AAF. Also, quick plug for myself, we have the Turtle Show, which will be covering the Alliance of American Football as a whole. We won't be going super in depth like the rest of the podcasts that I mentioned earlier, but we're working on some things you might want to tune into. The one that I did leave off, but is the best one I've seen so far, is Memphis Express and Goal. The Memphis Express and Goal covers the Memphis Express. It's been pretty on point since the beginning of the preseason, since the league's been announced. That podcast has a website where you could learn pretty much anything you want to know about the Memphis Express. They got the schedules. They even got an interview with the Memphis team's president. So I'll put a link to the website below. And if you're in Memphis, they're the show to follow. Like I said, all these podcasts are fan-made, but these fans pretty much know what they're talking about. They've been following since the beginning, since they mentioned that these leagues are going to pop up. So they're a really good source of information. The last source of information that I highly recommend you partake in is Instagram. I found just following the team account so far has got me more information than I have just from going to the website. All the teams do have like a Facebook page where they post the same information at, and especially if it's like Instagram's like your social media platform of choice. But on Instagram, you see like the player interviews, behind the scenes videos. I want to say the Express have like some video podcast with Zach Mettenberger, the QB, which is pretty interesting. And if you're not following, you need to, because they run a whole bunch of contests where they give away free tickets all the time, t-shirts. I think the Apollos are giving away like what they call visors, like Steve Spurrier. They also talk about all the different deals that they have for the tickets. So personally, just paying attention to the San Antonio Commanders Instagram, I was able to find out about the open house that they had, and I was able to get out there and you know, that's how I was able to recognize the War Room podcast and everything else. They had like their logos all over their shirts and everything, so it was hard to miss them, but I was able to see what was actually going on with these teams and how they're building this up. So they stated that when they started the league that they wanted a lot of fan interaction, and they're staying true to that word. So that's one thing I highly recommend, is that you get involved with the community if you want the AAF to grow. The more support that we can get behind the AAF, they can put a better product on the field for us, the fans. They're a business in the business of making money, but they're making a product that's really affordable for the average man who just, you know, can't drop $100 to go watch a game. It's like, we don't want them to go down the route of the NFL. Like, I want them to stay affordable, decent entertainment. You know, it's football right after football season is normally over. So interacting with the teams is the best way to do that. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and follow along with us while we cover the AAF starting this February. And also, if you happen to follow a couple of these different podcasts or different Instagram handles that I mentioned and I shouted out, just let them know that the Turf Toe Show and Mike Floyd sent you.